Hello and welcome to Military Mantra. In this interview, we have today Lieutenant Commander Nitika Rai, who has served in Indian Navy for close to 11 years. And in this interview, we'll try to understand her journey of joining Indian Navy, life in the Indian Navy, and various life lessons that she has learned over service. So thank you, ma'am, for coming on this interview and welcome.
Thank you, Akash. Pleasure to be around you.
Ma'am, if you could, tell us how was your journey before joining the Fauj and what was your motivation to join the Indian Navy?
All right, Akash. So before joining Fauj, I did my BCA and MBA. So while I was doing my MBA, I got selected, and it was the last semester, which I did after my selection in Indian Navy. And I did my graduation from Bareilly, UP, and also MBA from Bareilly. So I've never been outside my hometown. So it was after the selection that immediately I had to travel to Edemala, Kerala, at the Indian Naval Academy, which was again a very different experience. And my motivation to join Navy was my father. He saw an ad in the newspaper and he thought that I should apply for it. I did apply and got through. So though the inclination was to go into corporate because I was doing it MBA in HR and marketing. I gave interviews for certain companies, but at the same time, I appear for the SSB as a logistic officer in Indian Navy and got selected.
Okay. Ma'am, if you could, also tell us which entry was it and how was your experience in the SSB?
All right. So the entry was for the female candidates for the logistic officer, and they were taking the eligibility for the graduation per se, not the post graduation. So I did my BCA, and there was certain percentage. I don't remember. I think it was 65 plus or 70 plus percentage you should have in your graduation, so that you are eligible to appear for the SSB interview. So I did appear. First was again the screening, the initial screening, preliminary screening, and then again 4-5 days of the other physical task, including the group discussion. And at last, it was the personality test, which is the interview. So the experience was very different for me. You cannot compare it because you have never gone through it. And since it was first time, first shot, and I'm through. So you look back and then you realize that, yes, you passed on to 300 candidates and you are amongst the 8 ladies who got selected, which was again a very proud moment at the age of 22 years.
Got it. Ma'am, how did you actually prepare in that case? Because it was your first attempt? Because there are varieties of tests that happens there. The psychology, the GTO has a battery of tests, and the interview itself. So how did you prepare back then?
So what I did was, what I understand is my father used to tell me that there is no preparation involved. There's no as such preparation involved. So I remember I had a book of Arihant that time, a very small booklet of Arihant, wherein there were certain, English words wherein you need to make a sentence.
Correct.
Sentence has to be a positive one. So I just read through it. And regarding the physical activity, I just maintained my physical activity since the day I was I was born. Because initially when I was born, after some years, like 4, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, I used to do yoga and all. So that was, again, it's a part of a daily routine. So I'm sure that won't make a difference, but then it's your inner qualities that they look forward to, these soft skills. And if you tell me to number them, so I will not be able to tell them as to what they look forward to. But again, they don't want 10% officer, because if you're an officer, what they'll train you for? All right. So they want certain qualities which they're looking for. If you have those qualities, then you will sail through it. And there are certain tests, if you fail onto certain tests also, it's okay. It's okay. It's not like you need to pass 100% all physical activities. You need to get 100% marks. No. So they don't want those who already seem to be an officer. They'll train you for that. So this is what I understood. So it's like my father used to tell me that, you go and perform as you are. I mean, you need not to show off. Just remain calm and do as the things go by. Just pass your day and you need to be fresh upfront and just go for it. So this was my motto, and that time, it's like going with the flow. You go with the flow, and you are nothing. There's no preparation as such, which I did.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Ma'am, you spoke about the qualities, with which you go there and you're evaluated for that. Even today, when we go for SSB, we hear something about, the officer-like qualities, the OLQs. So were you aware about it? And, do people have to, develop them and then go to a service selection board, or does it eventually get developed, as you said, over your service and training period?
Yes, they eventually get developed. You need not to develop. It's inbuilt for you. When you appear for a group discussion, for example, and you start speaking. What I understand is listening is again very important.
Correct.
So you need to listen, and then you need to answer it appropriately. It doesn't matter that if you're speaking too much, you are selected. It doesn't matter that way. It's the quality and the quantity, the specific part which you speak, which matters. Same goes with the task which is given to you. It's a team effort which counts. It's not like you go and perform the task and come back. So you need to be with the team at all times and ensure that each and every member of your team is taken along with you. All right. You need not to see when you're selected, you yourself is a leader. Each one of you is a leader as an officer. So when you lead the team, that's different. But the team members have to be along with you. That is, when you say together, everyone achieves more. So Fauj is like, you get along with each and everyone together and go forward, which I understand. And there is no quality which needs to be developed. It's all again inbuilt. If you're trying to show them certain qualities, suppose day one you want to show them, then they will there are certain specialized officers with such a great experience, and they've seen so many candidates that third day or fourth day your inner quality will automatically come out. So be you who you are. You need to be yourself and do it. All right, because everybody is new to you. You need to gel along with them. You need to show your positive attitude. All right, it has to be again all positive. So that's what will lead you to be selected in SSB. There is no mantra, there is no qualities written, and there is no, I think there's no coaching book. I'm sure there are certain coachings now. Now people are going through certain coaching. So it was like I read a particular book and had gone through. So this is what I remember. Yes.
Ma'am, if you could, tell us how was your experience in the Indian Naval Academy, and in terms of your routine, and how does it look for, and also any memorable incidents that you would like to share.
So my experience with at Indian Naval Academy at Naval, that was for 6 months, and I joined on 5th of July 2010. Beautiful academy, Akash, I must tell you, beautifully laid down, and you cannot see the beauty while you are getting trained. That's a way because you're getting trained and you get an appointment after that. So that's totally different. But when you're getting trained, you are properly utilized by the officers in such a way that you turn out to be a good military officer. So each and every day is a new for me, because you step into it thinking that your passing out will be after 6 months. So you have a calendar in front of you. You mark the days and in the descending order. All right, and you cut off those days. And when you see that 6th of December 2010, you are passing out, then you yourself is motivated each day. All right, this day is ticked off. This day, though each day is very difficult for you, because again it's different. You have never been through, and it will be difficult. And then when you see your mates enjoying each difficult day, you laugh it out at the end of the day. Wow, I did this. I never thought, I could run 5 kilometers. I never thought I could swim. I never thought I could float. I never thought I could jump from, 3 height into the swimming pool. And I wasn't aware I could do push-ups, sit-ups. I mean, so these things, when you yourself get motivated each day, though you learn it hard, but then when you come out of the Naval Academy, you feel elevated. And that feeling, you cannot express. It's like each day you made it happen. So very, very different feeling, and very close to the heart feeling. When you thought, that you became an officer and you march on 6. When I marched on 6, so I felt very proud seeing my parents around, and yes, a very different feeling.
Got it, mom. Mom, if you could, tell us, because you were a logistic officer. So once you pass out from the Indian Naval Academy, how does your training look like as a logistic officer?
So as a logistic officer, see, when all logistic officer of Indian Navy, they get trained in Indian Naval ship INS Hamla. Okay. It's in Mumbai. It's in Mumbai. It's a unit, logistic unit. It's a parent unit of all logistic officer. We get trained there, and the training includes the physical training as well as the theoretical part. Okay. So it's a bit scoring in terms of physical attributes of an officer as well as the theoretical attributes. So you need to perform, and you'll get a seniority. The seniority will tell you the time of promotion. That that 12 months is the maximum time, maximum seniority which an individual officer can take. So say, for example, you get 12 months of seniority, then you'll be promoted as a lieutenant commander in a year before it is due. A year before it's due. So no, the training was very good, because you see those officers, fellow officers, which are of your cadre, and you feel connected, because you all studied the same thing. Then even the seniors which are teaching you, they're all logistic officers. They know the Navy well. They have been into service for 10, 15, 20 years. And since you're just new, you just came out of academy, you tend to learn, you tend to talk like them, you tend to think like them, then you tend to follow them. There are certain Bibles, which are Bibles in the sense, the books, theory books of logistic officers, which are given to us. You tend to read, that for 10 years you need to follow that. Correct. So you make sure that you by heart them, and at the same time when you interact, when you're free, when you interact with senior officers, you get to know the pulse that I'm a logistic officer, I'll be posted to 10 different places, what my conduct had to be, how I need to conduct myself compared to the officers of other cadre. So logistics, and it's an administrative branch. So we need to be providers, we need to be givers. All right. And the liaising ability of logistic officers is far from good. I mean, you had to be a good liaison officer as well. So that, in case something is some things are required, then you can just, pick up a phone and talk to the officer who is way ahead, sitting from, you are in Mumbai, officer sitting in Vizag or Kochi, you can just give a call and the things are being, catered for. So the liaising ability also we inculcate for a period of 6 months. Then you interact with lady officers, they're lady logistic officers. So they also tell you how to, go about how are the appointments, how are the, then, and one more thing, when I was there in Mumbai, I even as other logistic officer got a chance to visit certain ships and submarines, though the lady officers at that time were not allowed to be the part of the sailing crew. Now they are, and that time we were being told, how logistics work when you're on board. So we are given a gist of each and everything which officer goes through, and for a period of 6 months, when you come out as a logistic officer, you feel that you at least have a foundation created for yourself, so that in coming 10 years which are in front of you, or 14 years, then that is 10 extendable to 2 and then extendable to 2, you make up your mind that the basics which I inculcated from that particular unit are there with me, and I now have to build upon those. So the experience was very good and very different. And you then you come as an instructor, or you then come as an officer in that particular unit, in which you are trained. So different experience altogether, Akash.
Got it, mom. Mom, if you could, picture it for us, how does any one day as a logistic officer look like in terms of your role, routine, and responsibility?
All right. So see, when we are being appointed, we are being appointed as an assistant logistic officer when we're very junior.
Okay.
Then we are being appointed as a deputy logistic officer.
Hmm.
Then it's logistic officer. All right. So the chain goes up. Command logistic officer. Then there are other appointments.
Hmm.
But as like I have been in service for 11 years, so I have been appointed as assistant logistic officer and deputy logistic officer, D logo. And in some cases wherein the logistic officer is not available or is on leave, then in that case you tend to do the duties of a logistic officer when you are senior lieutenant commander. So and also at times in a small billet you tend to be a logistic officer also. Like I was posted in a unit at Chennai wherein I carried out the duties as a logistic officer also. You need to take care of various things. Like if you are an assistant logistic officer of stores, you need to take care of all these stores in a particular unit. You need to ensure that the stores are being issued timely to the unit. The stores are available. All right, the spare part. There are n number of things. If to the catering part. All right, in simple words, where you need to provide rations to the men, to the officers and their families. You need to ensure that you have sufficient rations available with us, with the unit, to ensure that the ration which is available is kept properly. You need to keep a check on it. All right. You need to ensure that if there are certain functions, then the availability of all the catering stuff is available. All right. So these are the things which as a logistic officer, you need to do this. There are various different verticals. Logistic officer, as a assistant logistic officer, you need to be A logo we call it, A logo air stores, A logo naval stores, A logo Wickling. So, and then we have D logo. All right, and then we have logos. So there are, depending upon the unit requirements, there are different categories which you are put into, and you perform the task accordingly. And it's a laid down roles and responsibilities. The charter is given to you the day you join a particular organization. You need to function it accordingly. Yes.
Got it. Ma'am, if you could, also tell us, because you spoke about, you get deployed in ships as well, or submarines or anything. Okay, no?
No, we never got deployed, but we got trained in the way we were being trained, in the sense we got on board, we saw, and we came back. We just familiarity visit.
Okay. Right. So is it for every logistic officer that he will be always operating from the base, and there'll be no they'll not go to ship? Is that how it works?
Not now. Not
okay.
now. Not presently. Lady officers also are on board, and male officers, of course, they're on board at all times.
Okay.
Yes. For lady officers, we have now started, so they are on board.
Okay. And how much is that percentage? You will be more on the sea or on the base? How does it look like?
It is divided as per rules and regulations. There are certain rules. I'm not sure on those rules, but yes, it's a duration of a year, I believe, that an officer has to be on board ship, and depending upon the ranks also, as a lieutenant commander, you have to be a part of a sea tenure.
Okay.
So there has to be a sea tenure for you, or as a lieutenant also, you have to be sea tenure for you. So lady officers now have been on board, and they're now the part of the sailing crew. So yes.
Okay, got it, ma'am. Ma'am, since you have been in Indian Navy for past 11 years, so if you could also tell us, any 3 life lessons that you learned from the armed forces, which you still use or still cherish.
Yes, so Navy has, Indian Navy has, it's a way of life. So it has given many things. The entire persona of an individual has been changed. For each of he or she joins the force, and the day he or she joins come totally different. So life lessons. So life lessons which I want to tell is, first is the leadership quality. You come out as a leader, all right, and second is, you tend to have a empathetic attitude. You tend to see your men, tend to see your peers, from their point of view, because you need to take the team along. All right. So your listening ability, your understanding ability, they over the period of a decade in service has changed. You get matured way back when you join service. That is when you're 22 years or 20 years of age. So so over a period of years, you develop and you understand. The third life lesson is that you understand that each day is new for you. All right, and each day will be difficult. So no matter it's difficult, you need to take it in a stride. And difficult in the sense it will be different. You're not aware as to how. I don't know what they would be. All right, what duties will come along. You cannot say no. You cannot say no. You can always tell your feelings, or you tell your thinking of a particular role, that sir, I think, or I thought of doing this, or we can do this way. You can portray your feelings, but at the same time you cannot say no. So you know that you have to do it. So you take each day in a stride. So that's a life lesson. If you're not in service, and again, life has different lessons and different ways to teach you. So each day you need to take it in a stride and go ahead. So yes.
Ma'am, after you come out as a short service commission officer, so what are the various opportunities that are available for them? Because I understand there's a pre-release course which currently happens for everybody who comes out from the armed forces.
Yes.
After that,
so so I did my pre-release course from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade in global supply chain management. The reason being that I want to make my CV, the resume, in that particular format, because I was a logistic officer. So my CV was in the logistic supply chain. So I thought of doing PRC in that particular subject only, that is global supply chain management. So when you tend to think, and then you were MBA in HR and marketing also. So you all are, so your CV says Bachelor in Computer Applications, MBA in HR and marketing, then logistic officer, and then global supply chain management. Then I did certain courses. I did Lean Six Sigma, a project management course. Yeah, 2 courses I did. All right, and then you look for the opportunities outside depending upon your CV. That is in e-commerce industries, or in operations management, or in people management. And you also have plan B in place, that is as a security officer, which is very basic for an officer of the armed forces. So I made 2 resumes and then I applied for it. There are n number of opportunities, because you yourself is coming as a leader after serving Indian Navy or any of the forces for 10 years. So, the corporate know that you have certain qualities which the corporate never thought of inculcating into you. So they'll put you at certain level already. So you need not to worry that you'll not get a job. You'll get a job, but after either you get a job immediately or you get it after some days. Just a matter of time, but you'll get it because you are holding a different experience altogether, which none of the corporate people are holding. All right. So that makes it different. Although you learn from them a lot, because they are at par with what is happening outside. So you need to gel, you need to network. Networking is very important, which I learned over the past 1 year. Which is very important. You need to talk to them. You need to take good habits. You need to see what they are going through, how the world outside is, because you are inside your cocoon, and you have certain qualities which are very strong. You just don't want to shake them up, and when they're shaken, you feel irritated. So at the same time, when you're coming out, you need to calm down. You need to understand that the world outside is different, and at the same time, you need to have patience. That you'll get a job outside, but yes, it's a matter of time, or you'll get it immediately, or after it will take certain. And it doesn't mean that you don't do PRC. PRC is an add-on. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Okay. All right. Nevertheless, you get a job. So understanding. So course is an add-on thing. If you have not done MBA, you want to brush up. You need to weighten up your CV. So you do your courses, you do your MBA. At the same time, the more you write on your CV, the more courses you write on your CV, you should be aware of that. It shouldn't happen you take 10 courses and you're not aware. All right. Do 2 courses and make them strong, and then you should know what you have written in your CV, and you are through. So it's just a matter of time. Each one of us will get it. All right. It's just, need to prepare. Preparation is very important. Generally, an officer thinks, you are prepared. But then what I understand is I gave 5, 6, 7 interviews, but I didn't get selected in all. All right. So yes, preparation is important.
Ma'am, you spoke about the quality of leadership. So, if how do you look at leadership, and how armed forces have actually helped you develop that? I completely understand that the operating system of armed forces is very different from how the corporate work. But how does the the nuances of leadership look like for you?
The leadership, all right. So the word leadership or the leaders in our forces are they're totally different, because each an individual, even if you say you see our sailors, all right, they are also the leaders. All right, so it's not like that you learn from officers. You learn from a junior most sailor also. All right, and then you learn from the senior most officer also. So leadership definition, it's different for each individual. All right, and as a leader, you always go with a team. When you're a leader, cannot go alone. All right, I'm a leader and everybody has to follow me. Nothing like that. All right, you need to be behind. You need to take your team forward. All right, ensure that each member of your team is a leader, and they have different qualities. You need to talk to them. All right, you need to motivate them. You need to say, "Now, how is the Josh and all?" It's a kind of a motivation which each one of us has. Just need to ignite them.
Got it.
So that's very important. And once it is ignited, all right, you see impeccable qualities each individual has. All right, and I'm sure that you see in a small unit as well as on the warship. All right. So why? Because the officer, when he give a motivational talk, a basic talk to his sailors or to the fellow officers, he ensured that those officers and men are fully motivated to take on a day's task, not a month or a week task, a day's task. So generally, we call it a muster. We come together every day. We talk to our men, which it happens in a routine. I mean, it's a routine. In Saturday, Sundays also, most officers tend to visit the men dormitories and talk to them. So it's a kind of a habit they inculcate. They go and play with them. All right. So it's not like, all duties, no play. It's both ways. All right. You need to ensure that when they are on duty, they're very disciplined, as well as when they're playing, they're equally motivated to take the team forward. So that's what leaders in defense look like.
Mom, since a lot of aspirants will be watching this, what will be your message to all of those who want to join the forces?
All right, so I just want to tell them it's again a very different feeling. If you're not selected, it's okay. Giving SSB is again a very different feeling. All right, so don't worry. You need not to prepare. Just go with a calm mind. All right, just prepare the basics which are required. Go with a positive attitude. Just apply for it. If you're selected, wow. If you're not selected, then again it's wow. It's a totally different feeling. At least you can say you appeared for it. All right, and go with the motivation that at least I'll clear off the screening part. At least I'll clear off my second day. At least I'll clear off my third day. Don't think that what will happen in the interview. All right, so go do step by step. All right, and enjoy. You go to this. I have been in 33 SSB Bhopal. It's a totally different experience. You meet different kind of people. All right, so don't go with a heavy mind. That wow, I mean, if what, because your mind will take you all together to the negative thing. What if I'll not get selected? What will happen? So nothing doing. Just apply for it. All right, and you have ample opportunities. You are 20 years. You are 22, 21 years aspirants. All right, you have different ample opportunities. You can apply n number of places. So you need not to stick to a particular thing. That I want to be an aspirant, my thinking was that, and I'm not selected. That's okay if you're not selected, but if you're selected, then again it's a wow feeling. You just can't express it. It's totally different, and it's unmatchable. Being in defense forces as an officer, you cannot match this kind of a profession. Though different professions have different qualities, but armed forces is again unmatchable. So I would like to tell my aspirants that apply for it, and do apply for it. I mean, you should always give it a chance. And I'm sure each one of you will get selected. If not, then it's okay, apply again. All right, apply again, but do it with a calm mind and don't try to show off. They don't want people, they want very, very normal people. We used to, when I was there for my academy, during my SSB time, there were certain senior sailors or somebody was there, I don't remember. They used to say, I don't want monkeys. All right, those who climb each thing and then they pass 100%. I want normal people, those who climb and fall, because because you're not trained. No, how can you climb each and everything? You can't climb and then fall. All right, or you climb, you're there 10 things, so you pass on to 5, 6. All right, don't pass on to the 10. And it's not like don't pass, but at least you need to be very, very normal human being to go for SSB and clear it off. So no preparation required.
Got it, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for your time on this session. I hope a lot of people who will watch this will get a perspective about the life in the Navy and also about the role of a logistic officer. How does it look like? So thanks again for your time, ma'am. Jai Hind.
Thanks, Akash. Pleasure meeting you, Jai Hind. Thanks a lot.